In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how we can use a combination of the stitch dot diamonds and the plain diamonds to make ourselves a beautiful set of frames going in and coming out, making sure that we use the best of the waste. So what I'm going to do is I've already cut here a piece that's 5.5 by 7.5 in this silver linen card. And to do this, I use die number 3 from the stitch dot diamonds, and I like to use the stitch dot diamond first because you get that beautiful imprint line all the way around, and on a special finish card it really does look special. I've then taken the matching size down in the plain diamonds, which is actually die number 5, die number 6, I always get this wrong, and I've cut out a plain white layer. So what I want to do now is to cut another silver layer to go in. So this piece of card has been cut down to 5.25 by 7.25, so that it's a little bit smaller than the main piece on the top. So I'm going to place that down. I'm going to pop my piece on top, and I'm simply going to go and use the next die down in the set. So I believe I used 3, so this should be number 4. And you'll see that they are interspersed, and that means that this is die number 3, this is die number 4, but die number 5 from the plain diamonds gives you a matten layer in between. So I'm just going to place that in. I'm going to tape that down, making sure I tape it evenly and just on the inside so that I can release this piece out. And I don't want to waste the cutting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next size down in the set, and I'm going to cut that from the piece, and I'm going to miss one and take the next one down in the middle from the plain. So you just mix and match, but whilst I'm cutting, I want to do and cut that plain one in there as well. So I'm asking for 3 to cut, that's fine. We'll pop those into my machine and I'll run that through and cut them, but I will show you then what I've actually done. So I've already cut this. This is the first piece out that you will get, and as you can see, matted and layered it, and it matches exactly with the top layers. So I'm just going to take my foam tape off all of the sides. So we'll take this one away, just remove that from the machine, we'll bring that in. So taking this tape off, and you'll notice what I've also done is I've put a little bit of foam tape or foam pads around the aperture. If I don't do that, it can sag slightly, and that's where we want the difference to be shown. So it's really important, even if just on this one, as you can see, I've used a little bit, you have a little something there for added support. So we bring that in, match corner to corner, top to top, and we just tape that down so that we've got it going in an inverted frame. If I pull out the pieces I cut, you can see here that will give me the piece that's inside, but I then have these 3 other pieces. And again, I could use these separately, I could put them in different patterns, but what I've actually done is I've done the same with the white from the centre, and I've made myself a little set of frames. So the first piece there, I've already matted and layered to fit in. There we go. And that's on 1 layer of foam tape. I've then taken the next piece out and matched it together with some of the white, and I've put this on 2 layers of foam tape so that I can drop that in, and it means it raises slightly from that layer, but you're getting that double stitch and dot line there. Just adds that little bit more interest, and we could put flowers onto this, we could put a sentiment on across the middle, we could rotate a diamond across that way, put a sentiment on, or again there. There's lots of options we can do, but for a card like this, it is very front heavy because it's got all those layers going in and coming out. So the best way that I've found to actually stand one of these cards up is, rather than putting it on a card blank, is to use my card stand die. So I've cut this out of 250 GSM white card, so it doesn't need to be anything strong. And I'm just going to fold the two sides in. I'm then going to take these centre pieces and I want to fold the top two little tabs over. And it's really important that you just really press down and burnish the folds there, because we're going to glue that down, because that's the pull. So I'm going to take a little bit of a wet glue. You can use tape, but if you're using tape, make sure you use something like a power tape or a red line tape, because you want it nice and strong. Again, you could use your glue glaze on this for speed. So we're just going to stick that down. You can see there then I've got my little pull. So when it's on the back, it's obvious that you pull it down. So we turn this over, and what I'm going to use on here is either use a wet glue, or I'm just going to use a little bit of power tape. And you need to make sure that it's only on these two sections, which is why I'm using the tape. And you can see with this blue tape exactly where it is. So it's only here and here. You don't want to tape this down, because obviously you can't pull it down if that's taped down. So we just want to take off our connective piece from our power tape. And if you haven't got something like this, you want to use something like a red line tape. A normal double-sided tape, again, could crack in central heating. You don't have to get this in the right place or the right size, just flat against the base. Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. And we tape that down. We pull those two pieces pre-folded up, and we pull down our little tab there, and that will make it stand perfectly. Exactly like that. So obviously you can't see that, but it would stand exactly front, and that will take all of that weight.